Hey there, I'm Tom Finch, and today I'm going to walk you through the relative modes in the key of C major. And for visual aid, I'm going to take you to my handy dandy mode wheel, which you can find at modewheel.com. The wheel defaults to C major, and you can see that there are three squares which represent the three major modes, or the three major chords in the key of C. There are three circles representing the three minor modes or minor chords in the key of C, and one triangle representing the diminished scale or the diminished chord in the key of C. So coming back to our tabs, if you look at the middle line here, you'll notice that Locrian and Ionian have a shared position, meaning they occupy the same frets on the neck. We're going to start with Ionian, and Ionian being the parent chord or parent scale in this key, called the 1 chord. We're going to start with your middle finger here on the 8th fret, and the fingering goes middle, pinky, index, middle, pinky, index, ring, pinky. That's your first octave. And then index, ring, pinky, middle, pinky, index, middle. That's your second octave, pinky on top. Coming down, octave, octave. There's your C major bar chord. So this is C Ionian or C major, and this is your go-to for most folk and pop and generally upbeat music. Okay? So looking back at the mode wheel, notice that the 5th mode, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is Mixolydian. And Mixolydian is major with a flat 7th, which means that if you play the same fingering, looking at the top of the tab here, top line of the tab, starting on G, so we're going to play all the same notes in the key of C, but using G as our root. You're going to get the same fingering until you reach the 7th note. So index, pinky, index, middle, pinky, index, middle. There's our flat 7th. Also sometimes called a minor 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? And then going on, index, ring, pinky, index, ring, pinky, index. There's your octave, middle, pinky. Octave. There's our flat 7th, octave, flat 7, octave. There's our G bar chord. So this is the 5th mode in the key of C Ionian, and this also sometimes is called dominant. If you play this G bar chord and you lose the pinky, that incorporates that 7th note. This is really common for more blues-based R&B and blues music. Sometimes I say if you take the major scale and you rub a little dirt on it, you get Mixolydian. Kind of more of a rock major, if you will. Okay? So that's the 5th mode in the key of C. And back to the mode wheel, the 4th mode gives us Lydian. So F, if we play all the same notes of C, but we start on F, you get Lydian. So going to the bottom line of the tab, starting on the 13th fret of the 6th string, that's F, middle, pinky, index, ring, pinky. So there's our sharp 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And then index, ring, pinky. There's your first octave. Index, ring, index, middle, pinky, index, middle, pinky. Octave, sharp 4, octave, sharp 4, octave. So Lydian's got a little bend to it. Definitely kind of quirky. Great for soundtracks, cartoons, progressive music. Danny Elfman uses it a lot. It's got a nice bend. So those are the three major modes in the key of C. So back to the mode wheel, we're going to look at Aeolian as the natural minor, or the parent minor. Okay, so if we start on A and play all the same notes as C, we get Aeolian. This is the second line here on the tab. 5th fret, 6th string, fingering is index, ring, pinky, index, ring, pinky, index, ring. That's your first octave, shifting back, index, middle, pinky, index, middle, pinky, index, ring, pinky. Octave, octave, octave. Sometimes I call this the melancholy minor. It's definitely the darker of the minors. Good for sad songs, dark songs, anything that you just want to kind of give that mood to. Aeolian is the one to use. Okay, natural minor. And going back to the mode wheel, let's look at Dorian next. Dorian is same pattern with a sharp 6th. It's the second mode in the key of C. So if we start on D, this is the second from the bottom. Here's D on the 6th string, 10th fret. And it starts off with the same fingering of index, ring, pinky, index, ring. Instead of going to the pinky here, we're going to shift back and get this sharp 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Middle, pinky. Index, middle, pinky, index, ring. So there's the sharp 6th again. Pinky, index. So there's the root, sharp 6th, root, sharp 6th, root. So Dorian, I sometimes call the bright or the party minor. A lot of funk music, more celebratory minor music, dance music. Santana uses it. So definitely brightens things up. Okay, nice contrast to Aeolian. Okay, third minor mode is Phrygian. It's the third mode relative to C, and it's minor with a flat 2. So if you look at the bottom line of the tab again, and I'm going to go ahead and look at the 12th fret. We could play it open, but sometimes I find it easier to fret the notes, to see the fretted notes. So starting on the E, instead of starting on the F. If we started on the F, we got Lydian, right? All the same notes starting on E give us Phrygian. And here's the flat 2 right off the bat. Index, middle, pinky, index, ring, pinky, index, ring. There's the octave. Then pinky here, it gives us our flat 2 again. Okay, index, ring, index, middle, pinky, index, middle, pinky. So there's the flat 2, there's our octave. Flat 2, octave. Flat 2, octave. So this is great for kind of a Spanish gypsy vibe, like south of the border. If you want to get that kind of flair, Phrygian, that half step, right? That's your character note. Each of these modes has a character, certain quality and sound that you get from each mode. So that's a great way to be able to identify and utilize these modes. So those are the three minor modes. So last but not least, Locrian, as I mentioned, is pretty uncommon. You're not really going to find a song in Locrian, and not many songs use diminished chords. But just out of fairness and to be complete, we'll look at B Locrian here in the middle of the tab. So instead of starting on C, kind of like how Phrygian and Lydian have this shared position, so Locrian and Ionian have a shared position. So instead of starting on C, we'll start on B, but play all the same notes, and you get index, middle, pinky, index, middle, pinky, index, ring. There's your first octave. Pinky, index, ring, pinky, middle, pinky, index. There's your second octave. 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 Okay. And the corresponding chord is technically half diminished, sometimes also called minor 7 flat 5. So you'll find this used as a 2 chord sometimes in the key of A minor. A lot of bossa novas use that. There's other ways to utilize it too. I'll do some more videos focusing on Locrian. But for today, let's bring this to conclusion by saying each of these modes has a certain character that you can utilize to get a certain sound or quality from your music. You can also utilize these in a relative way, meaning, say in the key of C, I can use the C major scale. I could also use the D Dorian scale, the E Phrygian scale, G Mixolydian, Aeolian, B Locrian, relative to C. So I put a loop in my looper here. I'm going to go ahead and play this C major loop. And then I'm going to just run through these modes so you can hear, it's all going to sound like C major, but it's a way to connect the positions up and down the fretboard. And sounds like this. Okay, I'll start on C. Okay, then D Dorian. Okay, E Phrygian. Really going to be F Lydian also. Okay, so those guys are the shared position. G. And A minor. So in some of these cases, it's a little odd to start on a non-chord tone. In the case of D, D is not in the C chord. So, but you can notice that all the notes are compatible. They're all the same 7 notes. So that's another way to improvise and get up and down the neck. If you notice when people are soloing or playing and moving from position to position, generally that's what they're doing. They're utilizing the positions of these different modes. So you can use them in a relative way, or you can use them in a certain, some songs like the Grateful Dead play in Mixolydian a lot, where G is the home chord. And then you could do all the chords relative to G. Santana, does a lot of stuff in Dorian. Dorian would be the home key or home mode, play all the scales relative to that. So, hope this makes sense, hope this helps. If you like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You can go to modewheel.com or tomfinch.com. I'll be making more videos and posting more content shortly. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time. Peace.